Ahead on Q2, a strain on SNAP.
We will make sure that everybody who comes in has their needs met.
Long lines wrapping around a Billings nonprofit as SNAP benefits remain in limbo and some residents struggle to put food on the table. Plus, another city is throwing its hat into the ring for the state's proposed mental health hospital. We'll have the details. And
I'm Marion Davidson in Helena. Agriculture is Montana's #1 industry, and there's a growing market overseas for Montana grown and raised products. I'll show you.
The MTN 4:30 news starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, a growing strain for Montanans who count on SNAP benefits. Payments that should arrive this month still haven't, leaving many turning to local food banks for help. In Billings, Family Service is seeing longer lines and a community stepping up to meet the demand. MTN's Will Wagner has the story.
When the SNAP benefits runs out, I can't afford it. It's really hard. So I have to go to food banks and all that stuff.
Getting food is getting serious for many, and the crowds are growing at local food banks. While partial SNAP funding has been approved, that's not going to fix today's need.
There's a lot more people here now because, you know, the shutdown and people that don't have food stamps now, they have to go here to get it. And it's really hard to, get food because of this, because so many people are coming that, usually don't come here because they had food stamps or they have money to get other stuff.
Family Services in Billings say they're working hard to supply the community with all the stuff they need.
We will make sure that everybody who comes in has their needs met. We expect to see an increase, but the community has been so giving. We've had multiple donations come in today, totaling over 1,000 pounds in food donations. We've got barrels all over the community.
Having options for those both receiving and giving could be what makes all the difference in keeping people fed.
About 30 different communities are doing food drives. So the community is absolutely meeting the need, and we'll continue to do that for everybody who comes through.
People like Simi Audette have sourced several small donations from her neighbors and congregation to help meet the need.
Our church, St. Luke's Episcopal Church, is one church that wanted to donate, and then I just felt inspired, I guess, to go around the neighborhood and also collect food out in Briarwood.
It's this coming together that could keep the fear away.
People need to help the poor people or elderly people that can't afford, don't have a lot of money.
In Billings, Will Wagner, MTN News.
Tonight, a big development out of eastern Montana. Custer County is making a push to bring the state's new forensic mental health facility to their area of the state. The county confirms the facility could be built on 500 acres of state land behind the Pine Hills Correctional Facility. Officials say the location already has water, sewer, and a trained correctional workforce ready to go. A survey on the county's website shows strong support, with 80% of respondents backing the plan for a 32-bed facility near Miles City. Tonight, heartbreak in Marr County. No criminal charges will be filed after the shooting death of a 16-year-old boy north of White Sulphur Springs. The sheriff says 3 teens were staying at a rural bunkhouse when one picked up a .22 caliber revolver thinking it was unloaded. The gun went off, killing his friend. The sheriff says everyone has cooperated, and the victim's family has asked the county attorney not to file charges, calling it a tragic accident. A Gallatin County sheriff sergeant is dead after a hunting accident in Broadwater County. Officials say 37-year-old Michael Floor was found Saturday afternoon in the Magpie Gulch area. Investigators have not released details about how the accident happened. Floor was a longtime member of the Gallatin County Detention Center. The sheriff's office says staff is grieving the loss as the investigation continues.
And this is a pretty scene. Live shot from Bozeman Pass looking back towards Livingston and the Crazy Mountains. Temperatures at 47 in Livingston, just a little bit of an east breeze. Now, doggone it, Missoula's not showing up. This rain and snow around there right now, where the temperatures are sitting right at 33 degrees. And you notice the humidity is getting up there fairly high as well. We're going to move over towards Miles City. There's a live shot. We can see that one with just a few clouds around, sitting comfortably at 54 degrees this afternoon. And let's see, do we have one more? We'll look over towards Sydney. The sky is pretty with the sunset just starting to get working for us at 47 degrees. We'll take a look at the rest of the forecast details for the rest of the week coming up.
Tonight, a deadly listeria outbreak is growing, now linked to prepared pasta meals sold at major retailers, including Walmart. Health officials say the contamination traces back to California-based Nate's Fine Foods, which recalled more than 200,000 pounds of pasta in September. So far, 6 people have died and 27 have gotten sick across 18 states. A full list of affected products is posted on the FDA's website. Election day may be quiet here in Montana, but across the country, the stakes are very high. Voters in states like Virginia, New Jersey, New York, and California are heading to the polls with affordability front and center in many of those races. Stephanie Liebergen has more on what's driving voters this year.
Americans in more than a dozen states are heading to the polls Tuesday.
I think that this is an important election. There's a lot of things that people care about.
In New Jersey and Virginia, voters will decide on a new governor. New York City's mayoral race is being closely watched. Californians are voting on a redistricting measure, and voters in several other states will cast ballots on local leaders or statewide measures. Polls show the Democratic candidates are favored to win the governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia.
Especially if these races go the way that we expect. I think national Democrats are really going to want to point toward people like Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger as sort of the future of the Democratic Party.
Tuesday's elections are taking place amid the ongoing federal government shutdown, which is causing growing concerns for many Americans. 86% say they're concerned about the shutdown's impact on the economy, according to a new CBS News poll. And more than 7 in 10 say Congress is not working to end the shutdown. Affordability has taken center stage in both the gubernatorial races.
When I go to the grocery store, everything is high.
I just don't know how ordinary folks that you see here are making ends meet.
And the economy and cost of living is the top issue for nearly half of voters.
The economy is a big thing in this community, too. You know, you see people that are barely making it, paycheck to paycheck, and the problem is that the cost of living is just going out of this roof.
Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News Group, Alexandria, Virginia.
McDonald's is rounding cash transactions to the nearest nickel at some locations nationwide, all because of a penny shortage. The change only affects customers paying with cash who don't have exact change, meaning totals could be rounded up or down by a couple of cents. For example, a $12.06 order would now ring up to $12.05. The U.S. Mint stopped making pennies earlier this year, creating shortages for businesses. McDonald's joins other major retailers like Kroger and Home Depot, now adjusting to a nickel-only world. Travel troubles continue for flyers nationwide. Flight delays are piling up as the government shutdown triggers an air traffic controller shortage. At Newark Airport, some travelers waited 2 to 3 hours on Sunday. Houston, Dallas, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Miami are also seeing dozens of delays and cancellations. Montana's homegrown products are going global, from our golden wheat fields to world-class beef ranches. The Treasure State is strengthening ties with major markets in Japan and South Korea. In tonight's Montana Ag Report, MTN's Marian Davidson shows us how a new trade mission is helping Montana producers bring a taste of the big sky to dinner tables overseas.
Standing here in Montana, Japan and South Korea may seem like a world away, but stop into a grocery store over there and you might just see something familiar.
Seeing our growers like pick up the packaging and be like, oh, it says U.S. beef, you know, or pick up the packaging and know that that wheat was coming from our market.
Montana Department of Agriculture Director Jillian Street, Governor Greg Gianforte, Montana agricultural producers, and other representatives of Montana industries recently returned from a trade mission to Japan and South Korea. The trip sought to strengthen and expand connections between the Treasure State and the two countries across a number of industries, including Montana's top industry, agriculture.
It's important that we tell the Montana story. So we took wheat and barley growers, we took stock growers.
Montana has established ties with both Japan and South Korea. They are consistently some of the Treasure State's top trading partners. According to the governor's office, Montana exported $38 million in wheat sales to both Japan and South Korea last year.
They have very high specifications for their millers in both countries. They like high quality products, and Montana is the source.
Street says there's growing demand for other products that Montana grown and raised goods can fill, like an interest in protein from Nippon, a Japanese company that mills flour and produces flour-related products like pasta, but also manufactures other packaged foods.
They are very excited about protein. And that excites me because Montana has an amazing protein profile. It doesn't matter if it's our wheat, our barley, our pulses, or our beef. We are a protein state.
The trade mission also sought to expand Montana beef exports to Japan and South Korea. Now, Japan already has a strong Wagyu beef market, but Street says there are other opportunities for Montana-raised beef.
What they will export from us in large quantities, and not just from Montana, but from the U.S., is tongue and intestine and some of the areas of the stomach. And while we in the States might not eat those products, in Japan, it's a delicacy.
Along with strengthening existing relationships, Street and Gianforte say the trade mission also forged new ones.
There's no question that we made some new relationships on this trip that will expand our export markets for Montana producers.
Japan and South Korea are not the only overseas nations with interest in Montana ag products. So far this year, Street has also been to Panama, Peru, and Colombia with the USDA. And when it comes to promoting Montana-raised and grown goods around the world, she says she is not slowing down.
I like to say that Montana is grandma's cupboard. You can go in there and you can find anything that you need. And we have it, and we want to figure out how to get it to you.
In Helena, Marion Davidson, MTN News.
Scientists are using smart new technology to help save polar bears in Canada, where melting sea ice wiped out 50% of population. A silent, all-electric tundra buggy helps researchers get closer to those bears to study them. It can even broadcast live to the world. Military-grade radar called BEARDAR can detect polar bears as they get closer to towns, keeping both people and animals safe.
I think a large animal would be very easy to see and a hard target, but that thick fur makes them a very soft radar target.
Researchers say polar bears are facing longer ice-free seasons than ever before, making it harder for them to hunt and to survive.